Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. And you can already tell from the title of this video, the adventure that we're going to be embarking on. I'm going to be giving you an update on my headphone situation, as I do get a lot of questions about it, even from those who have seen my old video about my headphones on my main channel. Because it's been a while. Are you still listening to the same headphones? Like, what headphones do you recommend? Like, what should I look for as far as headphones? And listen, within a certain dollar range, like 100, 150 and above, you get some really great headphones from a number of different brands. And at that point, it really kind of comes down to feel, style, comfortability, and really just the kind of experience that you're looking for, as far as like over ear, isolation, noise canceling, and that sort of stuff. Now listen, some of those headphones I don't own, and I have no interest in owning, because maybe that's just not the kind of sound experience I'm looking for. Like, for one, I fucking hate earbuds. I hate earbuds. I hate the way they feel. I, for the most part, hate the way they look. And finally, I think a lot of them sound like crap. And not that there aren't earbuds out there that get super loud and super bassy, there certainly are. But I feel like if I don't have a certain amount of distance and air, between me and the sound source, like in my ear canal, it just sounds really like claustrophobic and crappy. And plus, there are all sorts of studies out there that have pointed toward not earbuds necessarily being a danger to your hearing, but it's certainly easier to go overboard with the volume on earbuds than it is on a pair of headphones. So, if you're not careful with the volume, if you're not listening carefully, or if, you're turning it up too loud because you're trying to overcompensate for something else around you, again, you could easily go overboard with a pair of earbuds. Now, I'm going to go over again the headphones I'm listening to, what I look for in headphones. So let's start with a pair that, if you saw my last video, you should already be familiar with, AKG K240s. Plop. You may have seen me wear them before. I'm dropping the headphones now that I was going to be talking about afterwards, because we're professional here, and that's what we do. I'm dropping more headphones. This is why you guys subscribed. I'm just being so professional over here. So these are my AKGs. I've been listening to this exact pair of AKGs since, I want to say, like the start of college. So these AKGs may in fact be older than some of you, or were around while you were in diapers. So I'm just saying. However, if you buy a new pair of AKG K240s, like the build and everything is pretty much the same. They've stayed super true to the design and the audio quality and everything, from what I understand and what I've read. So they're really comfortable. They fit my melon head really well. The sound out of these headphones, in my opinion, is great, but I have to make a caveat here, because I have had people pick up these headphones and they're disappointed with them. Because, again, they're not exactly the audio experience that they're looking for. They're saying to me, "Oh, Anthony, the headphones, I've been listening to them, the AKGs, you like them, and I tried them, and I think they're muddy, and I think they're this, and I think they're that." Listen, these are studio headphones. These are reference headphones. As far as the sonic frequencies you're going to get out of these headphones, it's supposed to be very flat and true to whatever you're hearing. There's not supposed to be too much bass. It's not a pair of Dre beats. There's not supposed to be too much treble. There's not supposed to be too much anything. It's supposed to be an easy, flat response, because these are for listening to mixes. They're for listening to songs and pieces of recorded music critically. Okay, that's what these are for. These are not for plugging into your phone and then you go out and about your day. These are not travel around headphones. These are studio headphones. If there's a certain sound out of the headphones that you're not liking, that either means that it's either not that good of a sound, you, the producer, need to tweak it, or these you should be plugging into an amplifier or a preamp or something that you can actually like adjust the sound with. Oh, is there not enough bass here? Okay, now I'm getting the sound out of these that I want, because these are reference headphones. These are studio headphones. Okay, so I mean, they're not going to sound like a pair of Dre beats. They're not going to sound like some kind of, trendy, scooped piece of audio hardware where like the mids are pulled out and the trebles are super boosted and the bass is super boosted and that trap shit sounds amazing on it. And listen, I mean, studio headphones are great. Reference headphones are great. Again, if that's the kind of music and listening experience that you're going for, within the dollar range of these headphones and beyond, you can get a lot of great studio headphones. And I've been trying out different models, and honestly, I just keep coming back to the K240s. I mean, I recently even picked up another pair of AKGs just to try it, just to see, okay, well, like, let's go a few more dollar ranges up. Let's see what people are kind of rave reviewing. This is the K702, and I was pretty disappointed with these. Not only did I find the build to be clunkier, like they felt clunkier and larger than the K240s, like for no reason whatsoever, because it's not like the sound is bigger, and it's not like the design is that more interesting. Excuse me. And it's not like it was that much more comfortable. Like for whatever reason, despite the fact that these were bigger, they felt almost like, you know, tighter on my head, and not in kind of like a new headphone way, just like in an uncomfortable way. Whereas like the K240s, when I tried those on first time, that was just like sinking into, you know, a giant, fancy, just super plush, comfy driver seat chair in a Cadillac. These, however, just like felt really rough and just uncomfortable. And the sound that I was hearing out of them was not much bigger or more impressive or super clear or crisp in comparison to the K240s, to my ears anyway, and I've been listening to AKGs for a long time. And finally, you know, a feature that I love about these AKGs and a lot of other models in the AKG line is that they have these mini XLR cables, which basically if something frays, if something rips, if something breaks as far as the cord or the wire goes, you literally just unplug it from the headphones and then you just pick up a new one and then you plug that in. You don't got to throw the whole pair of headphones away, which is great. That's fantastic. That's so convenient because I've had wires go bad on numerous occasions. I've had wires tear or get ripped or get cut or whatever, you know, just making a mistake or they get pulled and whatever. So it's always nice to be able to be like, oh, I love these headphones and I don't got to throw them away. I can just put the new wire back in and it's there, it's done. But for whatever reason, this pair sealed fresh out of the box, the input for the XLR was just super wiggly and it was really difficult to get a consistent signal coming out of both channels in the headphones. So look, guys, sometimes like you can buy a really expensive pair of headphones and they sound great, you know, but more expensive does not always necessarily mean better. Like if you're looking for great audio quality and you're looking for great headphones or whatever, like try to go out there and look for people and seek out people online who, you know, most likely if they're not super famous or super busy or anything like that, will answer you. And just ask them, like, you listen to things professionally for a living. You record things for a living. You produce things for a living. Like, what headphones do you use? What headphones do you listen to? Is there a picture of them wearing headphones? You know, that's obviously not them being paid to wear those headphones. Because I guess I should also explicitly say here, nobody's paying me to say any of this shit. I'm just telling you guys what headphones I own and what headphones I use. You know, the AKG K240s, you could find dozens and dozens of photos from across the history of popular recorded music with producers, with musicians, wearing those headphones, recording with them, mixing with them, so on and so forth. I will say that these K240s are not the best if you're talking about kind of a loud studio setting because they are open back headphones, so there can be a bit of bleed into the cans if there's a lot going on outside. However, that does mean a lot to me personally because I don't like a super claustrophobic, isolated experience when I'm listening. I do like a little air. I do like a little space. It makes me more comfortable and it makes it easier to kind of focus and concentrate on the music that I'm listening to. You know, I don't like it to sort of be like a super tight space. Again, that's why I hate earbuds and, you know, and that sort of thing. And it's why I don't really care for most noise canceling headphones. Again, not that I want to hear noise, but that isolation means that the headphones are letting less air in and they're sort of like less, places for the audio to go or bounce around, and the thing is, at the end of the day, that's what sound is. It's just moving air. It's just moving air. It's just frequencies moving through the air. So moving on from there, now that I've kind of gotten the studio headphones thing out of the way, because I feel like I had to come on here and illustrate that, yeah, I'm still listening to the K240s, and these are specific headphones for a specific kind of thing. If you're looking for more commercial headphones that you can kind of listen to in a more casual setting, which I own as well, because I'm not always in my office, I'm not always listening to something to review it, there's a few different headphones that I go to. As I said in my last video, for knock-around headphones, for leaving the house headphones, going to the gym, going on the train, whatever, I typically wear a pair of AKG K240s, which are these cool little metal bracket headphones that sort of tie up really nicely. They're super convenient. They are pretty durable. I mean, I'm not going to say that you could put a hammer to them or anything like that. You certainly can't. But, you could bend them, you can twist them, you can really whatever, and they just kind of go back to their normal thing. And maybe you think they look a little bit dorky, but I don't know. They're very much my style, I guess. Dork chic. And the new line of them, they have all sorts of colors now. It's not just the blue and silver. This pair is like beige or something. And, they sound just as fine as they always have. They're not the greatest headphones that you're ever going to hear, especially given just how small the phones are. There's not there's not nearly as much range on these headphones as the 240s or a number of other COS headphones. But again, they sound good for the convenience factor, and that's another thing with headphones. I feel like what a lot of people don't realize is that there's kind of a bit of a give and take thing with headphones. For some conveniences, you're going to sacrifice other things. There aren't too many headphones out there, and they're probably there, but there aren't too many headphones out there that, I think you would say are like perfect all-arounders. You could listen in the studio, you can listen on the go, they're super durable, they're super cheap, they're this, they're that, you know what I mean? There's always a bit of a sacrifice or a compromise you're going to make with certain aspects and characteristics of most headphones. Now, as far as another pair that I use that is more of a commercial grade, I have this pair of COS Pro 4S's. These are over-ear headphones, a little tighter on my head than I typically like. But if I'm listening on the go and maybe I'm hearing something that I need to take a bit more seriously, if I need to, I'm reviewing it or I'm putting something together as far as audio goes and I just need to hear all those minor details, these headphones are quite good because not only is the sound pretty big, the sound is pretty crisp. Like a lot of modern headphones, the middle is scooped a little bit, so you kind of have big bass and big treble. If the vocals are super low in a mix, they tend to get buried down a little bit further because the mids aren't quite as emphasized as the bass and the treble. But hey, that trap shit sounds pretty crazy on these things because the bass is just huge and the rattling hi-hats and the snares just really kind of crackle and pop. And also on top of it, there's not a whole lot of sound or air bleed in the backs of these headphones as there are with the K240s or pretty much any other pair of open back headphones. So if I am on the go, I do need to listen to something critically. Not only am I hearing that clarity and I'm hearing that big sound, but if I'm on the train, if I'm walking down the street, so on and so forth, there's not a whole lot of sound coming in here and interrupting my experience. You know what I mean? If I'm in a more chill kind of studio setting, these are not my headphones of choice as far as like sound or comfort. But if I'm going to be listening to these for a limited period of time in a setting where I kind of need to get something done and I need to focus, like these are very good go-tos. And finally, a pair of headphones that is more of a style that I never thought I would take all that seriously. This is another pair of COS headphones that was actually sent to me by the company. And again, this is not a commercial. This is not an endorsement because I do have some criticisms of these headphones. These are the COS, I believe this is like 540i. I want to BT 540i. Now these headphones Well, I mean, you actually can. These headphones, you can just plug, an audio source into whatever you're listening to and listen that way. But these are primarily Bluetooth headphones. And Bluetooth headphones previously I have had my issues with because typically I'm listening on a pair of Bluetooth headphones and the sound is measurably tinnier than that of headphones that are plugged directly into the audio source. And that is certainly the case with the 540s over here. However, the technology has gotten better. The technology has definitely gotten better. I have not owned a lot of pair of Bluetooth headphones. So, I can't make a super tight comparison, Pepsi challenge or anything like that. But, I have found there to be moments when these headphones are super convenient. If there's something around my house and I need to review something, I need to hear something, and maybe I can't be tethered down. Maybe I can't be, hooked or wired up to my computer or something like that. You know what I mean? So I will sort of put these on. I'll throw an album Bluetooth style on my phone or some other sound source, and I'll be listening while I cook a little dinner or am doing little dishes, doing some housework or something, helping out Bay, doing my part in the house, that sort of thing. So there's certainly times when these headphones have served their purpose and have been incredibly convenient because of that Bluetooth factor. But going into that, I know that I'm not going to get as full and as bassy and as rich a sound out of those as I am just plugging these directly into the sound source or the AKGs and so on and so forth. So, the Bluetooth headphones over here and just Bluetooth headphones in general, in my experience, not quite as enriching an experience, but again, they can be super convenient and they can have a purpose and a context and a function and a use. So again, currently right now, that's pretty much what I'm using as far as like headphones. For commercial stuff, just for, knocking around, or if I'm on the go, I'm typically pulling out a pair of Koss. And if I'm in the studio, if I'm doing some critical listening, if I'm doing mixed listening, if I'm, working on a review and I'm in my office up here and I'm plugged into the stereo or I'm plugged into a sound source where I can adjust the sound a little bit, again, which is a lot of the time because that's my job. That's, what I'm doing. Most of the time I'm listening on the K240s. If there's another pair of studio headphones that, ends up kind of impressing me so much that I jump ship on the 240s, they're more comfortable, they sound better, they sound bigger, they sound more true to the sound that I'm listening to, the mix that I'm listening to, then I will absolutely jump in and hop on those headphones. But as of right now, these are kind of the brands and the models that I'm currently addicted to, that I'm currently still using. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of this video. Hopefully you got, some good recommendations out of this. And listen, I'm not just telling you guys to just buy a bunch of AKG or Koss headphones because not every model of headphone from every brand is great, number one. And number two, as I tried to illustrate with you, telling you guys kind of the purpose of each headphone, the style of each headphone, and the context in which I listen to each of these headphones, hopefully you have a better idea, no matter what brand or what model you're buying, what you're going to be looking for. Because you can't be, looking for an on-the-go headphone and you're just like looking through a section on a website with studio headphones or just a bunch of open back headphones because maybe, you want something with a bit more isolation to keep kind of outside sounds from coming in. Or again, if you're looking for a pair of headphones that you can record with a little bit more effectively, you might want a little more isolation to keep outside sounds from coming in so you can concentrate on what you're doing and the mix that you're listening to as you're trying to perform what you're supposed to lay down in the studio to finish the track. So again, hopefully this sheds a little bit of light in terms of what other headphone models I'm listening to lately and also what you guys could be looking for in a pair of headphones if you're out on the go or at a stereo shop or something and you see some headphones you want to buy, or if you're searching online for a new pair of headphones. And finally, I want to say I can't think of it right now, but there is a headphone review website or two that I will link down there in the description box that typically have some pretty good recommendations and information as far as like, hey, here's the frequency response that we were getting out of these headphones and these headphones and these headphones and so on and so forth. So, all right, thank you for watching. Over here next to my head, it's another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Love you, 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 love you forever.